Thank you so much for tuning in to She's All Over the Place with Katie. That's me. So I am so excited, and I am with Aric Shuford. He is the National Director of Voiceover Programming for the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. He is the bomb.com.
Don't let anyone know that. Thebomb.com. I love that. Hello. How are you, Kay?
Yay! Great.
Yay.
Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much. It's good to run into you the other day.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that that happened, and thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah, definitely. Life is amazing. I literally was manifesting seeing Aric. I'm like, I want to reach out to Aric. What is he doing? And I'm on this whole VO journey, and he was definitely a huge impact in the second round of getting going in voiceovers. And I'm like, I went to the root. I'm like, what is he doing? What's he up to? And then all of a sudden, we saw each other, and it was just like, boom, I have a podcast. What are you doing? Let's meet up. And here we are.
Just like that. It was really pretty fast and interesting. And yeah, this is how the universe does things sometimes. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
So so tell me, how long have you been at the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab here at the SAG Foundation?
Yeah, so I've been here for a little over 7.5 years. I started, back in 2012, I think, and we're moving into December right now, so it's a little beyond that. But when I first came in, I was hired as the administrator of the Voiceover Lab, and that sort of morphed into me now becoming the national director of Voiceover Lab programming for the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. We have a facility here in Los Angeles known as the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab, and one in New York known as the EIF Voiceover Lab of the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. So we have two places where we hold great VO classes. We have great, exceptional, state-of-the-art voiceover recording studios. We get top instructors, great staff of engineers and booth directors that work here to help the actors out. And it's a really solid and far-reaching program.
Mm-hmm. And you have to be a SAG member to participate in all these programs.
For the most part, but here's the thing. At the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab, there's a slight distinction. You can be a non-union performer and gain VO Lab eligibility and access. That part of it is free, but when it comes to booking sessions, the non-union actors have to pay a small fee for usage. And if you get into a class, there's a fee for getting into a class if you're a non-union member. But
that's great. That's great they have that accessibility, because before that wasn't possible. So they take those fees and they put it back into the lab here.
Exactly, 100%, right? And also just going to show non-union folks, these are some of the additional benefits that you get from union membership. Union members, of course, get a chance to access all of our programming for free. Our studio access is free for union members, but for the non-union folks, because in VO in particular, there's like a push and pull thing happening now with a lot of non-union folks and union folks with the types of work that's available. So we want to try and unionize and get people, activated and excited about what it means to be a union member, and this is one of the fringe benefits of that membership.
Yeah, and the quality of community, getting together and being connected, and then that can, all the information, so do people call and talk to you on the phone, or should they just go to the website?
Yeah, I think the website, you can always call for sure. The website is a tremendous resource of information, though. You just go to SAG-AFTRA.Foundation, because we are distinct from the union, but we support union membership, but the foundation is a nonprofit organization, and we operate solely based upon grants and donations, and we're here to help actors perfect their craft. So SAG-AFTRA.Foundation. You can look me up. I'm under the performance programs for VO Labs, and my contact information is there.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being so open. That's so awesome.
Absolutely. We love it.
Yeah. So, why is the voiceover lab called Don LaFontaine? And he's so legendary in the VO world. And let's just start there.
Yeah. So Don LaFontaine, for those who are not in the know, he's one of the most successful VO performer, or actually overall actors in SAG-AFTRA history. His billings were amazing. He was constantly busy, constantly in demand. He coined a phrase that still exists to this day for movie trailers in particular, "in a world." That was a Don LaFontaine line. He's the one that came up with that. And
in a world.
That's it. In a world where a podcast is recorded in SAG-AFTRA. Yeah, you get that.
Yeah.
So Don
cool.
was the guy that did that,
yeah,
right? He brought it to
yeah.
life. But Don was super successful as a VO actor, and when he unfortunately passed back in 2008, some of his good friends, Paul Pape, Joe Cipriano, George Whittam, and other folks that he had helped along the way and worked with in the community, decided that since Don was such a giving person, he was legendary for giving back to those actors that wanted to do what he did. He felt there was enough room and space for everyone. So he mentored a lot of people. And through his generosity and giving back to the community, his friends thought, wouldn't it be great to honor his legacy and continue that sense of giving back to the community and paying it forward by creating a facility and a space that would help actors that were aspiring and up and coming and even established in the world of VO. So they teamed up with the SAG-AFTRA Foundation to create the VO Lab program, and that has blossomed over the past closing in on 10 years, so it's been a pretty successful program. We celebrate our 10th anniversary next June, so June 2020. So there will be festivities to honor that.
Oh, wait, the poker tournament?
That's different. That's a fundraising effort. We're going to bring that back, but we have some other fundraising opportunities coming up. But specifically for the anniversary, the 10-year anniversary of the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab, we plan on having some nice celebratory things happening to honor that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So not only paying it forward, but playing it forward too.
Hey, look at you.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, combination of the two.
Cool, cool.
Mhm.
I can't wait to hear about those juicy treats coming up.
There's a lot of good ones. Get ready. Get ready.
Yeah, it's so amazing when minds come together, the possibilities of what could happen.
I agree.
That's so cool. I had the honor of meeting his wife.
Yeah, Nita. Yeah.
And she wrote a book, and I read the book years ago,
Yeah.
so I was able to get some insight of who is this guy and what's going on here. Yeah, so that was really cool. Yeah, and I love poker, so I definitely partaked in the.
Did you play?
Yeah, I was in the poker tournament. I did
Dang.
pretty good.
You did really?
Yeah, I did really good. I got down to some the 2 final tables.
Are you serious?
I was in there. It was okay. It was like maybe three final tables.
Still,
Yeah.
there were a lot of people that were they were playing poker at that tournament, though. You got down to
Oh
the,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can play the game. Then
It was amazing.
I'm not a poker guy.
Yeah.
I don't really know the game very well, but I'm trying to push them in a different direction. No, the Poker Classic for sure, but I want them to have another type of fundraiser where maybe more people can participate that aren't poker players, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Miniature golf or something. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yes, time will tell.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. So you're a good poker player.
I just love poker.
Wow.
I love it.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you ever play in Vegas and places like that? You do?
Yeah, I did like 2 home games, and then I went to well, what happened was I was in Shreveport, Louisiana, doing a movie with Jessica Simpson, and all the movies were the tax incentives. It was, the tax breaks. All the movies were being shot there.
Yeah.
And like 2007, and there was poker, and the producers and people I was with, they were big poker players, so I literally had 2 home games, and then they threw me in there with like the real cowboys,
Wow.
the real cowboys, and listening to all that talk. It was so funny in Shreveport, Louisiana, but it was so cool because I guess guys can read guys, but they can't read girls, and like I have a poker face, and
Yes.
like they can't read me, and I have a lot of patience, and I guess guys have less patience, so like I would be doing like all these different moves, but I won every time because I won every single time, and the cool thing is like I was always a winner. I never lost, and it was fun.
Because you are a winner.
Yeah, I'm a winner.
There it is. That's awesome.
And I never put up my own money, so I won. It was just playing, and I never put up my own money. Yeah, it was sponsored and hosted, a part of what was going on in life at the time. So
Do you still play? I mean,
was fun.
Is it one of those things where you play and you kind of maintain your chops in the game?
Oh my god! Like I went on this one website, and I was doing some. One time I was obsessed staying all night. I did like 7 poker tournaments all night, and I won a couple. Like literally, I just think it's so fun. Like scientist, mathematician, playing poker. Yeah. There's some fun stories there.
Oh, here we go. There it is. All right.
Fun stories. Do you play
Off-air
poker?
stories. I do not play. It's like one of those things where, before we had the tournament, they gave us like a crash course in how to play the game so we'd have some familiarity. Because the tournament happened for about 3 years in a row, and they've kind of backed off a little bit, but they're going to, again, reanimate that, if you will. So another version of the poker tournament will return, and that'll become like an annual thing for the VO Lab again. But I haven't played. I mean, it's one of those things where I I don't practice it, so it's not something I'm super familiar with. But, you know, a lot of people do, so maybe I'll be re-inspired. Maybe I'll join back in the fray a bit.
So what are you into? Like, what do you do?
Yeah, so, you know, when I'm off mic, if you will.
Literally.
I make music a little bit, so I've had a little success with the music industry, and as a songwriter and as an artist. But for recreational things, I'm a hiker, I'm a cyclist, I like to camp. I'm an outdoors guy for sure, you know, native, you know, Los Angelino, so I've been here my entire life. And, you know, as a LA native, it's always about being outdoors and kind of enjoying the beauty of our city landscape and the surrounding areas. So for me, that's always been my thing. I was a BMX racer for a long time. I was a track and field athlete, a football player for a bit. I've done a lot of different things.
And you're a vegan. You practice, you know, your healthy lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really imperative. I mean, it's always been a way of life for me, so I just try and maintain that. I've been vegan for about 7.5 years now. Prior to that, I was a vegetarian, sometimes a pescatarian, but then I made the jump into veganism and having a plant-based lifestyle, and that's worked really well for me.
Being conscious
sure.
of our planet, you know, that says a lot about your character.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's the truth, though, man. I really
so
believe
humble
it.
about it, too.
Well, environmental issues are very important. I believe in animal welfare, and I believe in the welfare of human beings as well. And I think a lot of that starts with the kind of food you put on your plate and how you carry yourself in the real world. So I'm an advocate for the lifestyle. I'm an advocate for environmental issues, and I'm an advocate just for equality for all beings and creatures that occupy this planet.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so this.
And then, so Aric is going to get the door right now. I've been here, and about 10 people just surprise and knock and show up at his office door. It's so funny. It's very busy. You just never know what you're gonna get every single day here at the office. And he's back.
So that'll make a nice edit.
Yeah.
Right there.
No, we're gonna keep that in because
Really?
it's real. I like it to be authentic.
All right. Yeah, that was.
Authenticity.
So what happens here, we have a solo booth and we have a main booth here in the VO lab, so actors can come in and record auditions, they can come and practice VO, they can record audio for their demos. So that was a person coming for a main booth session with our engineer, and we have someone else that's going to be knocking shortly, I'm sure, because they have a solo booth session coming up. So
amazing.
yeah.
And then can people set up like one-on-one appointments too? Because I remember I came in here and when I was like, you know, I do music too. Oh wait,
Yeah.
with your music, can we
Yeah.
find you on Spotify or anything like that? All
Spotify
streaming
probably shows up.
services.
Yeah, you can go on YouTube for sure. I know that Apple Music, I'm there as well. So back in the day, I went by the name Devone, so it's Devone. I had a pretty good run of dance records, so house music. That was my genre.
Dope. I'm from Detroit, so I
Yeah.
grew up. I'm like Bad Boy Bill. You know Bad Boy Bill?
Bad Boy Bill's my guy.
I'm friends with Bad Boy Bill.
Are you serious? Come
Yo,
on.
he's my
Really?
homie.
Really?
He is my homie.
Okay, so when you talk to Bill,
Chicago,
ask him about
what?
Devone.
Dude,
Ask
we're
him
gonna we're gonna text him right now.
Oh, wow.
No. We're gonna like take a photo and send it to him
Yeah.
when we get
Yeah,
off the
no,
mic.
Bill was part of our crew.
Oh, maybe we'll
Yeah.
put like one of his songs in the episode or something
lovely.
like that.
Bad Boy
I'll
Bill.
I'll call him and ask him.
For sure, yeah.
Yo,
No, we go way
Bad
back.
Boy Bill.
See, the world is small, right? It's kind of a small world. Yeah, Bill and
Detroit. I'm
Bill
from
is dope.
Detroit. Yeah,
That's
like he used to
wild.
come there all the time and spin
Absolutely.
underground parties.
Yes.
Before EDM and electronic music was like
Yeah.
westernized, like before it was popular here.
Yeah, see, when we were kind of coming up during that time, I think it was just starting to kind of break into radio, and now, dance music is everywhere, so that's cool.
Oh yeah.
We love that.
So I'll get the links from you if that's cool, and I'll put them at the bottom so people can
sure.
click and listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't wait to vibe out.
Word up.
Yeah, definitely.
Straight up 4 on the floor, 128 BPM, deep house music for your
Dope.
soul.
And I'm DJing now.
Are you really?
Yeah, so you can give me
That's
your music and I'll
dope.
put it in my DJ playlist.
Okay.
I'll do a remix or something.
Okay.
Okay, maybe in like 6 months. I have to put my playlist out.
Yeah.
But no, I'll put it in my playlist. I'm releasing a January playlist.
make
If
it
it's
so.
not, or February,
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited to release
Classic.
a playlist in January.
Energy, nah.
Yeah. So where did you grow up?
I'm a native Los Angelino, so I was
Oh, you
born and
mentioned
raised
that.
here. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. So, no, it's good.
The EDM or the dance music took me.
I get it. It kind of has
Somewhere
that vibe.
else.
It makes you float. I get it. Yeah, it's a good thing. No, LA is home. It's always been home. It will probably always be home. I love other parts of the country and the world, but I think LA is where my heart is. It'll always be my thing, my place.
Can you imagine if we did a song together?
That could be cool.
That could be really neat.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's on. We just said it here first, so look for that.
Yeah, totally.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what's who's a favorite artist, someone that's inspired you along your journey so far?
Interesting. There's so many. So I know that when you go back to the day when or the moments when I was first really interested in music in particular, the Jackson 5 were huge, in my world, and I was a big fan of MJ, and I know that, there's all kind of things surrounding MJ, but as an inspiration early on in my life, that guy was definitely like a trendsetter for me. Along the way, I've been a fan of Boy George and Culture Club. They were great. Stevie Wonder, big fan of Fleetwood Mac. I mean, from the modern era, I love David Guetta, Black Eyed Peas. Bruno Mars is big in my world. Adele as well. I dig her vibe, her stuff. So there's a lot of different acts that I think I just kind of run the gamut. Empire of the Sun. There's so many really great artists that I think capture my love and appreciation of dance music with some R&B vibe and definitely some up-tempo, kind of ethereal, rhythmic stuff that happens. That's all part of my whole musical MO, I think,
Dope.
Word up.
Dope.
Word up.
So it's so funny because I was screaming before we started recording, and I'm looking at the advisory board, and I see Randy Thomas.
Randy, the legend.
Oh my God, yeah. Randy Thomas. She is awesome.
She's on our advisory board. Randy's
she's
a great supporter and advocate and friend of the VO Lab, a friend of Don's as well. So Randy has done some great things with us.
She's brilliant. So yeah. Randy Thomas, she pioneered, for the women in VO, and she's the first news anchor on ABC nighttime news. She's the first woman. She's done the Oscars 10 times in a row, or 10 times total, and she's done the Tonys 21 years in a row. And this year, this past Tonys, Hadestown one, she invited me to the Tonys, and I was there, and I listened to her do her whole thing, and it was 21 years celebrating at the Tonys.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
She's amazing. And she just did, like every year, the SAG-AFTRA Foundation puts on a gala event. It's a huge fundraising opportunity, but we also honor great artists within the community. There are several artists that we honored this past year, but Randy was the live announce for that presentation as well. So she definitely gives back, and she's an incredible person.
Rock star.
Yeah, in a big way.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, really cool. Shout out to Randy Thomas. We love you.
We do.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, so with all the things you mentioned here, the voiceover lab and what you do, how's the experience when people come here?
Well, I think I always have a belief that I have a total responsibility to honor the spirit of what's been established. The lab had been open for 2 years before I took over the administrative role, and then kind of tried to grow the lab from there. So I've always approached things with a pretty open mind and open spirit perspective. I want people that come here to feel that we are really about helping the artist's journey and basically being a part of that creative process, right? So
in a healthy way.
In a really healthy way,
yeah.
right? I firmly believe in giving back. I worked in corporate broadcasting for a long time, and I was looking for a nonprofit opportunity. And this just sort of materialized, again, the universe and how things sort of operate. You put it out there, and I never knew that something like this existed, but luckily it did for me, and it was a super competitive, process to get the job, but I was lucky enough to land it. And as a result of that, I feel a complete obligation to live up to the expectations of the mission and to ensure that we take care of the actors that are involved with our program. We try and bring in the best instructors that are out there in the world of VO and acting in general. We do a good job of that. Do a lot of outreach, a lot of coordination, and we want the actors to feel that this is a safe space where they can come and experiment,
And musicians too?
Well, we have musicians that are in our program, of course, because, voiceover is super musical. So we have those people that are good musicians that definitely participate in the VO space. But we don't really allow, recording of songs or anything here in the VO lab. But there's a lot of musicians, nonetheless, that are involved.
Does your website look like it was made for free by your friend? Make a better first impression with actorgear.com. Load faster, look better. There's literally no reason to build a website any other way. Use your own domain and get a website with no ads to keep the focus on you. Go to actorgear.com and get 50% off your first month when you use the sign-up code KSTAR.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Well, I'm so grateful for you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you and all you do and being here.
Thank you.
I had a question. So, so the time of now and the time of, before when you were doing broadcasting and stuff, how has the technical equipment changed? What's your perspective on that?
Yeah.
Is there any? Is it better? Is do you miss out on anything, or how's that going?
When I first started, software was just sort of beginning to take root. So software was challenging hardware. There were soft synths, software for audio recording was just sort of taking root. And those are the early days of the whole process. I learned, though, in the world of radio, to work in digital environments as well as analog environments. So we were like that first sort of generation that was crossing over and meshing the two. Mm-hmm. So I think that I benefited a lot from learning the recording process using a lot of the analog gear. And as a result of that, crossing over to digital just made me so appreciate the world of digital so much more, because analog just took a lot of time. My workflows were increased, immensely by going digital, and it just made the possibility of doing more with the equipment we had available to us feasible. The costs, those just were significantly less, so more people had access. And I love the fact that we are at this place to where you have home studio environments, but if you want to go to a place that's a non-home studio, that exists, and that can kind of inform and help you out in other ways. But I do like the idea that you can have your own home set up and you can record and produce from your bedroom and make things that, can excite and ignite the world.
Yeah, and then travel with your setup too.
That's pretty dope, right? I mean, you have a microphone and a computer, or a microphone and a cell phone, and you can make some really top-notch recordings that way.
Yeah, so I'm just wondering, off the top of your head, what's some words of wisdom you can give newbies in VO, or even people who've been in the game for a while, some tips?
It's a challenging space, so come into it knowing, if you're new to the game, know that it is competitive. You have to ensure that you understand that things may not happen overnight. Sometimes things
sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do, right?
Sometimes they do.
Yeah, and if they do happen quickly, that's fantastic. But I've heard that story a million times where I got this national campaign right off the top, and then I haven't booked anything for 2 months, or for
2 years.
2 years, right? Yeah, that happens, right?
Jinx, Aric.
Yes, knock on wood, though. So the idea is that you just know it's competitive, and you have to just kind of, you have to stay the course. If it's really something you're passionate about, don't give up on that ambition. And just continue to train. You always have to kind of work on your instrument, perfecting your skill. Build as large a network and community around you as you can. I think it's really important to have people that are supportive of what you're trying to achieve. And in voiceover, this is the community where you can build that. I think people are super accessible and very helpful. So please try and infiltrate and place yourself in the midst of all that so that you can absorb those good vibes and be part of that community.
Yeah.
It's important.
And then, thank you. I love that. And then a part of my experience from what I felt and just seeing, just being a human being, we're all insecure. We're so insecure. And being an artist, there's so much insecurity because, no one's praising us and it's not good job. It's it's your job. It's you're not going to get the praise. A lot of times we're isolated, in offices by ourselves or home studios by ourselves. So it's and you said go out there, network, and meeting people, and then, like actors, they're like victims a lot of times, or, human beings, they just want to be liked, or like you're meeting someone, do they like me? It's like, so what do you have to say about that with like going out, meeting people, and like actors just wanting to be like, sucking like up to people, and there's like needing all that like attention and validation. So focus on what?
From a VO standpoint, that's not as prevalent. I think on camera, that probably is a little greater desire. But when it comes to voiceover, I've never been a fan of trying to, suck up to people, if you will. I think it's just important to be authentic and genuine, right? That's always been my motto. Be who you are and let that personality shine through. I think you have to be as real as you can be, and just respect the craft, respect those around you, and I think good things can happen. There's a lot of egos in any entertainment field, for sure. I've seen a lot of it. Even when I was touring, there was no ego. I just made a point of just being humble and being appreciative of the opportunities. And I just wanted to give, honor to those people that had any kind of faith in me. And I didn't think I could do that by being a jerk. So it's always nice to just be a better person and just try and be as good an individual as you can be. I think that's going to help people sort of understand who you are, where you're coming from, and also generate more likability, and just be receptive and be open.
Yeah, in the VO world, you're right. In the VO world, everyone's like really grounded.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just like, blah, it's like, how big and wacky can you be? Like, how wacky are you? Like, I know I'm wacky. Like,
totally wacky.
That person's a wacky, you know what I mean? So, and it's cool to be wacky and like all over the place.
It's the best, I think it's a great community.
All over the place.
Yeah, there it is. There's the name of it. Yeah.
There it is, all over the place.
It's a good community. So I think it's just, be real and have fun. Damn, it's like I always say this, like we have such a limited amount of time on this planet and in this life. Well, this is the best life you possibly can live, right? Be good. Be good to yourself. Be good to those you care about. Be good to the people around you that you don't know, that you just meet. Why can't we just do that and enjoy the experience that we're given and the time that we're given? Just maximize the allotment that you have and try and engage and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, Shaman Harry Paul. Do you know Shaman Harry Paul?
I do not.
He says, I said this years ago, and he's like, we're here for one long moment.
Yeah.
We're here for one long moment.
Thing.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah, well, thanks for tuning in to She's All Over the Place. And we have Aric Shuford here, the National Director of the VO Programming of the SAG-AFTRA Foundation.
That's it. SAG-AFTRA Foundation, SAG-AFTRA Foundation.
Yay, awesome. Cool. Well, many blessings and stay healthy.
Be good. Take care.
Okay, thanks. Ciao.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Kiriaki, over and out.